Welcome to Zetlis. In this video, I'll show you how seller profiles work and how they help Zetlis create eBay listings that match your store, your audience, and your writing style. We'll create the same product listing using 3 different profiles, so you can see the difference for yourself. First, here you can see the eBay account currently connected to Zetlis. You can connect multiple eBay accounts if you need to. Up here, you can see your credits, how many you've used and how many you still have available. And here you can see the seller profile currently selected for this listing. You can create multiple profiles, switch between them, edit them anytime, or delete them and create new ones. A profile is optional. You can leave it blank, and Zetlis will still create your listing, but the result will be more general. First, choose a profile name so you can easily identify it later. Here you can add information you want included in your listings. You can add your store name, brand name, niche, writing tone, keywords, and words you prefer to avoid. You can also add a store description. Anything you write here will be included in the product descriptions created with this profile. All of these fields help Zetlis understand how you want your listings to sound and what information you want included. Further down, you can select the eBay marketplace you're using and where the item is shipping from. Your ZP code is required because eBay uses it as the shipping location for the item. Here, you can also save default package information. If you normally sell similar products, this can save time, but you can still change the weight and package details later for each individual listing. Now I'm going to switch to a profile I already filled out. This one is casual and friendly. You can see the profile name, description, store information, niche, writing tone, keywords, and the other details I added. This is just an example. You can create different profiles for different stores, different types of products, or simply different writing styles, and you can change any profile whenever you want. Now, let's create a listing. In this area, you can also upload folders containing multiple products, with up to 50 different products at once. I'll show that feature in another video. For a single item, you can simply drag and drop your photos here, or click to select them from your computer. I already prepared these photos, so let's use them for this example. Here are the photos of our camera. You can enlarge them and move through the images to review the product. Next, select the item condition. This helps Zetlis understand whether the product is new, used, or in another condition before creating the listing. Once that's done, just click Analyze. The analysis takes just a few seconds. Zetlis looks at the photos, the product information you've provided, and the seller profile currently selected. It then uses that information together to create the listing. Once the analysis is complete, you'll also see a new item appear in your history. A draft of the listing is automatically saved there. So you don't have to finish everything right now. You can leave Zetlis, come back later, open the listing again, continue editing it, and publish it whenever you're ready. For this product, we're working with a camera, so we don't need fields such as clothing size or shoe size. But the interface can adapt depending on what you're selling. If you're listing shoes, for example, you'll have the appropriate shoe sizing options. If you're listing clothing, you'll have the relevant clothing sizes and other fields. The same process can be used for many different types of products. We're using a camera in this tutorial simply because it gives us a good way to compare the writing styles between profiles. Here you can see all of the product photos. You can change their order to control how they'll appear in the eBay listing. You can also choose which images you want to send to eBay and which ones you don't want to use. Now let's look at the titles. Zetlis creates 3 title options for the listing. You can select whichever one you prefer. Below the titles, you'll also find a selection of suggested keywords related to the product. These give you additional options when building or editing your title. Remember that eBay titles have a maximum of 80 characters. The counter here lets you see exactly how many characters you're using. And then we have this 4th line. This one is completely editable. You can use one of the generated titles as a starting point, remove words, add keywords, or simply delete everything and write your own title from scratch. If you go over eBay's 80-character limit, Zetlis will let you know. And if there's a keyword you want to use that isn't already included in the suggestions, you can add it yourself. The idea is to give you a strong starting point without taking control away from you. You decide what the final title will be. When you save the listing, your edits and any additional keywords you've added are saved with it in your history. Now let's look at the description. This is where the effect of the seller profile becomes much easier to see. At the top is the description Zetlis generated specifically for this camera. That part was created using the product photos, the information we provided, and the context from the selected seller profile. Below that is the information I personally added to my profile and asked Zetlis to include in my listings. So these two parts work together. Zetlis creates content specifically for the individual product. Next, we have the eBay category. Zetlis finds an appropriate category for the product, but you can change it if you think another category is a better fit. Here, you enter the price, and here we have the SKU. The SKU is optional for you to enter manually. If you have your own SKU system, you can type your SKU here. For this example, I'll enter a random one just to show you how it works. Next are the package details. Even if you've entered default package information in your seller profile, you can change it here for this specific product. You can also review the item's condition again. And here we have the item specifics that will be sent to eBay. Zetlis has already filled in some of these fields based on its analysis of the product. You can review them, edit them, or add additional information before publishing. Once everything looks good, simply click Publish to eBay. After a few seconds, the listing is sent to eBay. Back in the Zetlis history, you'll see the status change to published. And from here, you can open the listing directly on eBay. We have the SKU, the price, quantity, and the other information that was sent. And here's the complete listing on eBay. We have our photos, our title, the item specifics, the description, and the other information we selected. So publishing to eBay is very straightforward. Zetlis does a large part of the initial work, but you still have the opportunity to review and edit everything before it goes live. Now we're going to do something important. We're going to use the exact same camera, the exact same photos, and we're going to change only the seller profile. The first listing was created using our casual and friendly profile. Now I'm switching to a profile designed to sound more technical and professional. You can see that the profile has changed. The niche is different, the writing tone is different, and the instructions I've given Zetlis are focused more on a professional, technical presentation. The product itself hasn't changed. We're still using exactly the same camera and the same photos. Let's click Analyze again and see what happens. After a few seconds, our second listing is ready, and you'll see another item has now been added to the history. The editing process is exactly the same. We can reorder the photos, select which images we want, edit the title, change keywords, and modify any other information. But notice the difference. The casual profile used a broader, more approachable presentation. The technical profile gives more attention to specific details, such as the 9.5 to 47.5mm lens. The difference is even clearer in the description, with more focus on the camera's lens, controls, and technical characteristics. The facts haven't changed. It's still the same Canon camera. What changes is how Zetlis presents those facts based on your profile. Now let's change the profile one more time. For our third test, I'm going to use a profile designed as if this were a store specializing in vintage products and collectibles. You can see that we now have a different niche and a different writing style. And remember, none of this locks you into anything. You can edit this profile whenever you want, delete it, or create another one. Now let's analyze exactly the same camera one more time. Same product, same photos, different seller profile. Click Analyze, and after a few seconds, we have our third version. The process is still exactly the same. We can reorder the photos, select the images we want to use, and edit every part of the listing. But once again, look at the titles and the suggested keywords. The emphasis has changed. Instead of concentrating primarily on technical specifications, this version starts using language that fits the vintage and collectible side of the product. We see terms such as retro cine camera, analog film, and collector piece appearing in the way the product is presented. And the description follows the same direction. It still identifies the camera and its important characteristics, but now the language talks more about the nostalgic character of classic home movie making, and the appeal of the camera as a vintage collectible. That's the difference the seller profile can make. Let's publish one more version so you can see another example. This time, I'm going to leave the SKU field blank. I'm also going to change the package weight. All of the other fields are still available for review and editing. Now, let's publish it to eBay. After a few seconds, the new listing is ready. Because I left the SKU field blank, Zetlis created one for me automatically. And because we changed the package weight, you can also see that the shipping cost is different. Here is the complete listing on eBay. We have the photos, the title, the description, the item specifics, and all the information we selected. From here, we can return to Zetlis, clear the current product, and start working on another item. Before we finish, let's take a look at the history. Here you can see the listings we just created. 2 of them have been published, and 1 is still saved as a draft because I didn't send that version to eBay. Let's open one of the published listings. Everything is still here exactly as it was saved. The photos, the title options, the keywords, the description, the price, the shipping information, and the item specifics. You can continue editing this listing whenever you want. You can choose different keywords, you can create another title, you can change the description, you can change the price or quantity, and you don't use another credit to do that. Your credit was used when Zetlis performed the original analysis and created the listing. After that, the listing is yours in your history. You can continue working with it, you can save changes and come back later, and you can publish it again to eBay. Let's do that quickly. I'll change some information and publish it again, and there it is. We now have another listing on eBay with a different price and quantity. You can also save the listing information to your computer if you want a copy for reference or for your own records. And that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helped you understand how Zetlis works and how seller profiles can shape your listings. Be sure to check out our other tutorials where I'll show you how to list clothing, shoes, and how to create multiple listings at once using bulk upload. See you in the next video.